Hello and welcome, Miss Kapoor. Congratulations, you completed 10 years, right?
Yes.
In the movies.
Yeah.
And what brilliant films
Thank
in your
you.
kitty now, like with Nirja, and that's one of my personal favorites. I
Thank
have
you.
to tell you that.
Yeah.
And so many others, Khoobsurat,
Yeah. Yeah.
Dolly Ki Dolly.
Yeah.
And it's been a very interesting, I think, journey.
Thank you. It's I think 10 years has been. I didn't even realize where it went because I started so young. I was 17 when I started working. 18 when I was on this. I turned 18 on the sets of Black. I turned 21 on the sets of Savariya.
Mm-hmm.
Turned 25 on the sets of Mausam. So I mean, I grew up in the film industry, I guess, literally and figuratively as well.
Right.
So it's something that I didn't realize. It has been 10 years since I've been present in the public eye, I guess, because 2007 Savare released November, so 2017 was 10 years. So I started working in the industry much before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonam, I have always watched your journey with a lot of interest
Huh.
because you made very interesting choices, and I
Yeah.
always felt that you're one of the few industry kids who didn't have it as easy,
Yeah.
as some of the industry kids of
Yeah.
your stature.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I don't know about that. I just know that I made it very clear to my dad that I wanted to make my own choices and I wanted my own path. So for Savariya I auditioned, for Delhi 6 I auditioned, and I did what, and I didn't know what I wanted. So till Thank You and Players and Mausam, I was doing what my team and the people around me were telling me to do.
Yes.
Because there's a certain idea of where an actor is supposed to go with their journey, especially a female actress.
Right.
She has to do certain films and she needs to be a certain way and she needs to be a star, and it's not, but nobody was there taking care of me. It wasn't the time of, like, it's very different. That time it was, you had to do it yourself, everything had to be done yourself, and my dad was not present in my journey as much at that time.
Yes.
Because he was away for Slumdog, and so there wasn't guidance in that way.
Right.
I wasn't trained since I was a kid to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no action, dancing, horse riding, the
classical dance.
all. I mean, I'm a classical dancer, but that was for my passion.
As a hobby.
Yes. I've danced Kathak since I was 3 or 4 years old, but I've never done that in a film. It's very weird. But it was always, so I was actually groomed as to be an academic.
Mm-hmm.
From my mom's side.
Right.
So I've read every book possible in literature because I wanted to be a writer.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'd never watched too many films. So I would watch A Godfather because I read the book, and
Yes.
or I saw Gone with the Wind because of the book.
Yes.
I would see Satyajit Ray because it's just films that I wanted to see. My nani wanted me to see some of those films, but
Right.
I was never a filmy kid.
Yes.
So that was it was a shock to my parents also that I decided to become an actress.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know if it was hard. It was just I wasn't prepared.
Right.
I wasn't prepared. I remember auditioning Alia for Black when
That's
I was
right. I was in fact going to ask you about
so
it.
when I saw her, I was 17 or 18
Right.
when I auditioned her, and she was a kid and she knew what she was doing.
When you auditioned her, did you sort of realize that she's going to be like so big? Because like early signs.
Yeah, I mean, she just had it. Like even Sara Ali Khan.
That's right.
She I remember meeting her, and she'd be doing Adab, and there were all these like there's
Mannerism.
Like Janvi, Khushi. All
Right.
these girls have they're prepared, they're ready.
Yes.
With their makeup and hair and everything. When I was 2021, I didn't know. I'd not done my eyebrows.
Right.
I'd never taken I was never photographed.
Right.
There was no preparation. There was no. And it wasn't like I was telling Swara was a very good friend of mine. She wanted to be an actress. I didn't even know if I wanted to be an actress.
Right.
So I came in. So anything that's actually happened to me, so everybody thinks it's not been easy, but everything that's happened to me has been a plus.
Yes.
Because I didn't expect it. I didn't want it. I wasn't prepared for it.
Right. You didn't have a plan, like, you know, this
I
is
didn't have
my
a
plan.
So everything was a
Yes.
surprise. So, working with Sanjay, working with Mehra, I've worked with the best filmmakers in the country.
Absolutely.
It's always been a surprise and a joy because I was like, oh my, you know, I didn't ever expect it to happen to me.
Yes.
By the time I realized that this is my job and I better, you know, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, was during Mausam. And I decided to take a year. No, I decided to take time off till I found the correct project for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not going to do something. I said, there are two ambitions, I always say, for an actor.
Right.
For any celebrity, actually, or an
Yes.
actor. One is to become a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
One is to become famous and be the biggest superstar in the country.
Right.
And that's a different journey. And another journey is to have longevity and be the
Yes.
best actor and the best person that you can be.
Yes.
And I think that is for me, I was more comfortable doing that.
Yes.
So I decided to make certain choices. I was like, because I need to wake up happy and go to work.
Yeah. But Sonam, among your contemporaries, you know, some of the industry kids, who is there anyone whose journey you envy or you think was like really smooth?
I think Alia,
Right.
I think she's had it. She's obviously very talented.
Yes.
But she, you know, and I've, you know, everybody has a struggle and everybody has whatever they have to go through. But I think obviously because she's talented and she's had support, it's been something that's just been, it's just been incredible. I don't envy it because I want, like, as an actor, I mean, I want to direct eventually, so I look at her and I get inspired by that girl.
Right.
But at the same time, I see her journey and I see the kind of support and support that she's getting.
Yes.
And I say that, you know, there is some there's a lot of wisdom that's been applied to her choices.
Yes.
You know, and at 20, when I was her age, I had no idea.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it's just the generation after us.
True.
I think Priyanka, they're just smarter.
Yes.
You know, they're just
more
much more with
thought
it.
through with it.
Yeah, just you know, I guess with me, I didn't, even Ranbir and I, we had a very different we had a very different point of view when we
Yes.
started working. You know, we didn't know what we wanted. At least
Right.
I didn't know what I wanted. You know.
Yes. In fact, it's interesting that you say you you know, you want to direct movies.
Yeah.
You started out as an assistant
Yeah,
director
yeah,
with
yeah.
Sanjay. What was that experience like?
You know, honestly, I think I'm more comfortable behind the scenes. Generally I like people.
Right.
I will ask questions. I love knowing about people.
Yes.
I'll understand them. I'm not someone who's comfortable with people asking me questions.
Right.
Or being in the limelight.
Yeah.
I like to be on the other side.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I love people.
That's true.
And
you do.
so for me, I'm not comfortable talking about myself
Mhm.
or being there like being in the center.
Right.
So I think I mean, even though people say, you know, I found my mojo and I found my rhythm, it's taken me a long time to do that. But I think I really find my energy and my rhythm when I'm behind the scenes completely, because I like people. I like stories. I never envy anybody.
Right.
I'm fascinated by people.
Yes.
So
It's interesting you say that because you know, now you face the camera
Yeah.
and you have many other people behind the
Yeah.
scenes sort of directing
Yeah.
you and
Yeah,
telling
yeah,
you, you
yeah.
know. And it's also a more neurotic profession.
yeah,
You know?
it is. Honestly, it is. It's very. You need to be very self-aware
Right.
and very. There has to be self-possession,
Right.
self-possessed, you know,
Yes.
in a way, and I'm not.
Yes.
I feel like you need to be slightly affected,
Mhm.
you know, and in a good way. I don't mean in a bad way, and I guess there's a natural tendency for me to be put
Right.
together, but it's not inherently my personality at all.
Yes. It's not your comfort zone.
It's not my comfort zone,
Right.
and I love acting,
Yes, you do.
and I love acting, but I don't like the other stuff that comes with it.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, I like acting, I love acting, and I love fashion.
Right.
But I'm not so sure. I don't dress for anybody else. I dress for myself.
Yes.
When I act, I don't act for appreciation. I act to enjoy the character and discover something about myself and work in a film.
Right.
You know, what I do enjoy is young girls and boys understanding and interacting with them and understanding them. So in that way, I guess it's different. I'm not there for adulation. I'm there for, okay, it's almost like a scientific approach to saying that it's almost, I'm like looking at it under a microscope.
Right.
So it's a very different, that's why my choices, I guess, are little like schizophrenic and all over the place.
True, I get what you're saying.
But I know that I will continue acting for the rest of my life. But I know that when I direct and write, I'll flourish. You know?
Right.
You know.
You worked with Sanjay Leela on his film Black as an assistant director, and then obviously you acted as the lead in Savarya.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? I believe you used to cry every 15 minutes.
Did Sanjay tell you this?
No. But did you cry every 15 minutes?
In Black or in Savarya?
No, in Savarya.
In the film, yeah.
Why?
But, because that was a character.
Okay. So just for the character.
And also I cry very easily. Sanjay was very different when he was a boss as an assistant director. I was his DA, and it was a very different relationship. But he was very tough on me as an actor, and he was hard on me, and I was too young, and I didn't understand what he was trying to say and trying to do with me. And I think he was the same with Ranbir, but it toughened us up.
Right.
So when I would always appreciate him giving me Savarya and discovering me and understanding who I was.
Right.
He always saw me as an actor.
Yeah.
And he always said that I was very naturally gifted, and he's never met anybody as naturally gifted, and that gave me a lot of confidence.
Right.
But it was hard because I didn't know that this, when somebody is, when you want to act,
right,
you can take a lot, but when you're put in a situation where you are suddenly the center of attention,
right,
you don't, like, some people thrive in that environment, and some people just, I hated it. I was like,
freeze,
you freeze, you know, and but I enjoyed the acting bit of it.
Yes.
So when I wasn't aware of the camera, I was great. So when I went into Delhi 6, when I auditioned for Delhi 6 and I got the role, everybody wanted to do Rakesh Mehra's film because he just done Rang De Basanti. So every actress was vying for it. And I got the role, and I went to Mehra, and he saw that. He saw that I was more comfortable not being aware.
Right. Of the eye of the camera.
Of the camera, or not being aware of. So my first thing was, I don't want to see the monitor. I don't want to see the mirror.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to. I was like, I'm not, usually actors will be like all of that.
Right.
And I thought that that's what you're supposed to do. So Mehra's like, you don't need to do any of that. You just need to learn the lines and be present in your acting.
In the moment.
In the moment. Yeah. And I was like, fantastic. So I don't need to be aware of the way I'm looking or the way I'm behaving or acting. He's like, no, you just need to be Bittu Sharma.
Right.
He's like, it's not your job to look good or to be that. And, Sanjay is a different school.
Yes.
It's a different, it's very melodramatic, and it's got larger than life, and it's, it's all about beauty. And a lot of people think that that's what I am like, but I'm not like that.
Right.
I really don't give a shit about the way I'm looking.
Right.
And otherwise, I wouldn't wear crazy clothes, I just have fun with it.
True.
So Mehra was the one person who actually understood who I was, and he understood that I just want to be a pure actor, and I don't care. So I didn't wear any makeup. I wore my choti and I wore salwar kameez, and I was Bittu Sharma.
Yes.
And for me, that was me coming into my own.
I think between, just as you described, between these two films, you were gradually finding your space as an actor. Like you described it very well, that with Sanjay, it was a different process. A different school of filmmaking and cinema. Yeah. And with Mehra, obviously, it was different. So I think this was like your sort of...
That was I understood.
Your discovery into what kind of an actor you would like to be.
For me, it's more about, even if I have to look beautiful in a film, or even I have to do that, I needed to understand that's a different process
Correct.
of filmmaking, and for me to do that, it requires a different kind of presence and a different kind of self-awareness.
Right.
And it's hard for me to be that person.
Yes.
You know, it's hard for me to be that person.
True.
Yeah.
Interestingly,
Yeah.
very soon after you made your debut, right?
Yeah.
And you did Dilli 6 and movies,
Yeah.
many movies. You sort of made a mark for yourself as a fashionista.
Yeah.
You know, and actually created it, like you've carved a niche of it.
Yeah.
And now I hear a lot of young actresses say they want to position themselves like Sonam Kapoor.
Okay.
Is the competition getting tough in that fashionista space?
Like I said, I've never been aware about the way I look and the way I
Right.
dress. I do it because I like it and I enjoy dressing up and wearing different clothes. I appreciate it as an art.
Yes.
So it's like I always think I'm wearing like a rimzim or an anavila. I love textiles. I know a lot about it because
Yes.
it's an hobby. It's an interest. I don't do it to position myself. I'm not manufacturing this image.
True.
It comes naturally. And
You've just had a lot of fun with fashion.
I just enjoy it. So if anybody wants to be something like that, I'm very flattered. But the one advice I can give them is just be yourself and you will create your own niche. Why do you want to march to the beat of anybody else's drums except for your own?
You must have been on the covers of at least 200 plus fashion magazines,
No idea, I don't count.
or maybe even more, right? And you're a feminist
Yeah.
at heart, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Does it contradict each other? Like in the sense that, you know, fashion industry has certain prototypes that you should follow. Do the two sit
I think
well?
it's the opposite. I think the
Is
film
it?
industry
Okay.
has certain prototypes that you need to follow. I
Okay.
think the fashion industry is way ahead
Is it?
than the Indian
Okay.
film industry, for sure.
Okay.
I don't ever remember being projected on a fashion magazine as a hot chick for a man. Fashion magazines are for women.
Right. Yes. We love to browse through the magazines and pick out what we want to wear.
It's for
Right.
women.
Yes.
And there are very in-depth, intelligent articles that have been... In fact, the fashion industry has been very supportive of the kind of person I am.
Absolutely.
Being a feminist doesn't mean that you need to grow your eyebrows and not wear a bra.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, that is not feminism. I've written 2 articles on it. Feminism is having a choice, having equal opportunity.
Right.
So whether I want to wear a dress or trousers is my choice.
Is your choice. Absolutely.
It's my choice. That is a choice. Having
Right.
the same opportunities, having the same platform as a
Right.
man is being a feminist. Having the same opportunities.
Yes.
You know, so that is, being a feminist doesn't mean that you are suddenly in khadi kurta
Right.
with no makeup on and you're doing that. If you want to be that, you can be that. If you don't want to be that, you
I think that's the contradiction which like a lot of people hold against fashion, is that it creates these constructs which makes women who
even
don't
against
fall into
feminism, I
them
know
bad
so many
about it.
actresses who
Right.
don't understand the meaning of it and are like, we don't want to be feminist because people will think that we're manly.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
are
a
you
very facile
Yeah,
sort
I
of
find
understanding.
I was like, are you educated? Are you aware of
Yes.
what it actually means? You know?
Yes.
I when somebody asked me at 21, are you a feminist? When I was like, yes, I am. And I'm very proud to be because I'm a humanist and a feminist.
Yes.
I believe everyone is equal, but everybody in this world is given different opportunities and what you do with it.
True. Yes, it's basically about fighting for equality, not being discriminated on the basis of gender. You know, you have the right to
Genders,
vote,
yeah.
gender, you know, like
Yeah,
you equal
absolutely.
wages,
Yeah, absolutely.
so on and
but
so
if
forth.
I want to do it in a sari, I can.
That's perfectly fine.
You know,
Yeah.
if I want to do it in trousers, I can. If I
Yes.
want to wax, I can. If I don't want to wax, I don't
It's
have
fine,
to.
yes.
You know, if I want to wear makeup, I can. If I don't want to wear makeup, I don't have to.
Yeah, I think there's a reverse snobbery about not being fashionable, which is the part that you're talking about, you know.
I think it's
Not-
a very, I don't know. I know
which is also foolish.
it's foolish because some of the most artistic and strong feminists that I know, whether it's a Katharine Hepburn, whether it's Frida Kahlo, whether
Right.
it's Amrita Shergill, major artists
Right.
were fashionable, beautiful, creative.
Yes.
You know, there's a way of creating a certain, whether it's a Shabana Azmi.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know anybody else who knows as much about I mean, she knows who Anuradha Vakil is. I don't know any actress who knows who Anuradha Vakil is. Anuradha Vakil is one of the pioneers of designers.
From Ahmedabad.
Yeah, from Ahmedabad. Who knows everything about textiles and fabrics.
Right.
So it's not. It's a very narrow, short-sighted way of looking at things.
Right. You once also said that, you and Abhishek Bachchan, that time I think you guys were like working in Delhi 6, and you said the common thing that we have is that hum dono bade baap ki bigdi aulad hain. You said it in jest, of course.
Yeah.
But are you like a bigdi aulad at any level? Are you pampered at home?
I am very pampered at home.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm spoiled. My dad thinks I'm not. But there is it's a fact. We are both born under a banyan tree, and there's not much that grows under it.
Okay.
So the only way forward is to work so bloody hard.
Right.
That which Dhanush told me.
Okay.
Because when I was working with him, he's like, "You're so talented." He told me, "You're so good." He's like, "I've worked with a lot of actresses."
Right.
And I was like, but Dhanush, not much grows under a banyan tree. Kya hone wala hai?
You felt that way, is it?
Yeah, of course. I was like, I have to just continue doing what I have to do. There will always be, there's always, in India, I feel there's a mentality where it's almost like which I agree with also to a certain extent, that, they always try to level you out.
Okay.
In a way, I feel like I don't want to be a poor little rich girl, but
right.
I feel that, and I was okay with it because I had so many benefits of being Anil Kapoor's daughter.
Yes.
He said, Sonam, if you shine bright enough, a shadow can grow.
Yes.
So I was like, you're right. He was like, and you work hard enough. And he's like, believe you me, he's like, in 1 year, you have the same conversation with me. And he was right. Because I kept working hard and I kept doing what I love doing.
Right.
And I was professional, I was on time, I did what I had to do. And people wanted to keep casting me in their films.
Yes.
And I think that's true. So, yeah, we have a lot of benefits, but at the end of the day, if you're not talented and if you don't work hard, it's not going to go anywhere.
That's true. You have to sort of combine the your good opportunities with your talent and hard work, because it's not going to everything's not going to come on a platter to you.
Yeah, nothing comes on a platter to anyone.
I mean, maybe a first chance or something, but then you have to deliver on the promise.
I mean, honestly, for me,
not for you, but I'm saying some people.
I agree with you. It's easier for people to get into the door because you're so and so's daughter.
Right.
Now, I never correct people when they say that.
Right.
Because I still live at home like a lot of Indian kids do.
Yes, it's such an Indian tradition.
So, I and a lot of people who come to Bombay to act don't do that anymore. They don't live with their parents, and I still have that comfort zone.
Right.
Where if I don't get a job, I might not have to pay my bills for a bit. My parents can take care of me for a bit,
You have a roof above your head.
I have a roof above my head, and I have very loving parents who are very supportive, and I know a lot of people who are from Bombay have that as well.
Right.
And I know a lot of actresses like my friends, like Swara or Jacqueline, who are my closest friends, and I know that they have to basically do everything on their own.
Right. Your father always says that all the fitness, the fashion and the finesse in the family comes from your mother.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
Absolutely. My mom's been into health and fitness. She had one of the first gyms in India called Idea, and she was a fashion designer, and that's why we're into fashion so much.
Right.
She was one of the founding designers in Ensemble. She's a fantastic. She's very educated, very refined. Comes from a very refined, old family. So that culture comes from my mother. Yeah.
Right. Lovely to know that, actually, because we don't see so much of her.
Yeah, she likes to keep away from the media.
Also, you work with your sister Ria, and both of you are thick
as... I don't work with her. She's my boss.
Okay.
When she's my producer.
Right.
She's my partner when it comes to Reason, and she's my stylist when it comes to films. So my sister and I are like yin and yang.
Right.
Okay. For us, we need each other to kind of make something work, because we both have strengths and weaknesses which complement each other.
Right.
What she has, I don't have. What I have, she doesn't have.
Right.
I'm more instinctive, artistic, creative, better at marketing. My sister is all of that as well, but her strengths are also she's sharper about business.
Okay.
She understands the market better than I do.
Right.
She has instincts on what will work commercially.
Okay.
You know, and she is extremely creative as well, but
Right.
in a different way. I'm emotionally driven, she's intellectually driven.
Okay.
And if I didn't have her, my career wouldn't be anywhere.
Now you're going to be acting in a film with your father. I mean, you've done an ad together, but you'll be
Long back.
working with him in a movie. When you're a family, you're working together.
It's awful.
You know how? Yeah, I mean, how do you sort of
This
navigate
has
that?
taken me 10 years to actually agree to do a film with my father, because
Yes.
this movie was very special.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a movie that I'm really proud to be a part of, and I would have run away if it was anything
why?
else. Because I find it very strange to do it, you know. I mean, I find it very strange. I always felt that I should never use my father's stardom for something.
Okay.
And my father was like, no, you know, what's the big deal? You know, people do it all the time and all. I was like, no,
Right.
but that's not. It has to be the right project. And I feel like this project is so special to me, and what it denotes is so special that I was like, okay, maybe this is the right time, because nobody else but my dad could have done this role.
Right.
I don't see anybody else doing this role. Unfortunately, I've signed an NDA, so I can't actually delve further into the
Sure.
subject. But it's daunting and scary.
Okay. 3 actors in the house. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, Ki, between the 3 actors, who do you think can do an art house cinema? Who's best suited to do an art house cinema?
I think me.
You?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I go with the director's conviction. I
Okay.
don't question my directors at all.
Who's best suited to do a Hollywood film? Like your dad's done them,
Yeah.
but like a full out and
I
out
think
Hollywood
Harsh
film.
is more suited to international cinema
Okay.
than anyone else. His mindset and his taste is very much
Right.
like that.
And who is the most suitable for like a Telugu film?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yeah. Because he started in the south.
Right. Yes.
And he can do anything with conviction, even not speak the language.
He's quite amazing in
Yeah.
the kind of roles that he's
He
pulled
can
off.
do anything.
And he just brings that, you know, conviction and
Yeah.
energy to it,
Yeah,
which is quite
absolutely,
amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
These home productions, like, you know, you had a great sort of run with Aisha, Khubsurat, and now you're going into
Veeredi
Wedding. Do you feel that now the two of you have established your credentials as producer-actor team,
I think so. I think
getting the right budgets and...
I mean, it's been a journey, and
Right.
with every journey, we've gotten more successful.
Right.
And you know, we've had first PVR, then Disney, and now Balaji really believing in us.
Yes.
And you know, people want to work with us now.
Mhm.
People want to kind of be a part of our journey. I mean, we were very young, and my dad wasn't around. So yeah, it was a learning curve, but I think I'm very proud of the films we made.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's the other thing, that you've become like really diplomatic now.
Have
I mean, very different from your earlier sort of self, where you used to be like, I think, a little more candid.
I'm
for
still
whatever-
very, very candid. I think I'm very straightforward.
Okay.
I don't know what does diplomatic mean.
Well, I guess not saying exactly what you
No,
think.
I say
right?
exactly what I think.
Okay.
At all points.
At all points.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's just I don't believe in commenting on like I don't believe that I'm in any position to comment on anyone personally.
Right. You're a self-confessed romantic.
Yeah.
So what's the most romantic thing that you've done lately?
I'm just I mean, what is romance? Romance is not only in a romantic relationship way. I think romance is just romance. It's just idealism, is believing that the sky will always be blue, the birds will always chirp, and
Right.
life will always get better. You know, I'm just an eternal optimist, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the most romantic thing you've done? Anything like taken a walk by the sea or anything at all?
I think I just think it's these little things that make it romantic. Observation, understanding, the kind of coffee you drink, you know.
Right.
I think that is more romantic than grand gestures,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very fabulous films coming up this year. There's Sanjay Dutt biopic.
Yeah.
There's Veere the Wedding.
Yeah.
And what after that? Your own wedding?
My own wedding. I don't actually. Honestly, there's one thing that I'm very been very sure of since I joined this industry,
Right.
was to never delve into my personal life.
Personal life.
You know, whether to acknowledge or not acknowledge it.
True.
So I just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's something that I find it's a sacred part of my life, and
Yes.
it's not something that I will talk about anything,
Right.
and I can give you my opinion on anything.
Yes.
And it's been the last 10 years.
Sure.
I don't hide anything, but at the
Right.
same time, I don't believe in having a conversation
About it.
unless it's to my nearest and dearest ones.
Yes. But it's always a slippery slope.
No, it's not only that. It has to be in your control.
Yes.
You know, something has to be in your control.
True.
And I signed up for my life to be public, but
Certain things
no, and
are
your
remain
partner
with you.
hasn't, or somebody who's connected to you hasn't.
hasn't.
So, you know, it has to be. So I can talk about myself,
Right.
but when it involves somebody else, I don't have the liberty to do that.
Sure. Fair enough.
Do everything with class and sass.
Which reminds me that Hollywood has been talking a lot about Me Too campaign and Time's Up. Is there anything happening closer home? Like, are
Priyanka, I
people...
wish it was, you know, unfortunately in India, there's a lot of shame attached to it.
Right.
You know, if something happens to you and you go and tell somebody, like, just smile, no? Just smile and pretend to be dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Just ignore it.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen because if you speak about it, you'll get into more trouble. It'll become more shameful.
Don't make a big deal of it.
You're conditioned to think that way.
Right.
You're conditioned to be like, uske baare mein bolo mat. You know, you feel ki it becomes a blemish on you.
True.
You know,
You've done something wrong.
yeah, and in India, it's so prevalent. It's from Eve teasing. You're going through it since college, yeah.
Yes.
You're walking on the streets and boys are hooting at you. You know, that's also a form of harassment.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to explain is that our mindsets are only so backward
Right.
as women. You know, it's very scary. So we're light years behind.
Not much changes happened.
It's not gonna happen for a while, yeah. I don't think so. I mean, we are hard pressed to get roles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's in the media, whether, you know, there's no equal, we're not paid enough, yeah.
Yes.
We don't have stories. I'm not even talking about actresses.
Right.
I mean, I know this. I remember speaking to someone, I'm not going to mention who.
Right.
And this person was saying, listen, I need to, can you help me? I was like, what is it? He's like, you know, I'm trying to hire these two people, and this girl has just recently gotten married. And this man, and I know this man is good at his job, but I know this girl is slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I should hire her because pregnant ho jayegi.
Then she won't be able to
do
work
it,
properly.
Work properly, this, that. I mean, this is how we still think.
That's true. In fact, yes, actually, now that you say it, I think people subconsciously, you know, sort of hold these things against women.
They hold it against women, yeah. She's PMSing. I'm like,
no wonder she's screaming so much. Not because you've done a bad job.
Yeah, she's, why is she behaving like a man?
Yeah.
You know, when she's, you know, she's saying something, why does she have to, you know, like all these things, you know, like this is the mindsets.
Right.
So, you know, you're so scared to be anything but pure and feminine.
Yes.
It goes against the way we've been, our conditioning is so deep and so entrenched.
True.
You know, if something happened to you in school, if some guy cheated you in school, would you go and tell anybody? You'd be embarrassed. You'd be like,
you'd keep it to yourself.
You'd keep it to yourself. So there is this mindset now. This mindset has to change. But how is it? I don't think it's going to take a really, really long time. You know, when I spoke about, oh, you know, this is what happened to me in this theatre. I went to watch this film, which had Ravina Tandon in it. I remember very clearly. And there's a man who came behind me and kind of molested me.
Right.
I spoke about it. And they were like, that's not molestation. I was like, a man is coming behind me and squeezing my breast. That's not molestation.
Yes.
That's harassment and that's molestation. And I remember somebody from my team saying, why do you speak about it? You know, this movie is coming out and you should be, you should see. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So there are these mindsets, you know, there are these mindsets. Like I remember when I said, oh, I'm a feminist, my team was like, why are you saying you're a feminist?
It doesn't work
for you.
Image or something.
It works for your image.
Yeah.
because you want to see your women going to temples,
Yes.
going to, being the girl next door, wearing your sari, being pure,
Unquestioning. Unquestioning, unrevolting.
Yeah.
And accepting everything.
Accepting everything, and it's shocking. The mind, it is such a contradiction in our country, we still want to watch songs where women are gyrating to lyrics that are so suggestive, but at
Right.
the same time they're wearing salwar kameezes and doing puja
Yeah, it's just like contradiction.
to another level.
Yeah.
So it's a long
It's
way
not
off.
Long way off. But you've sort of taken a step forward in many ways through your movies. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us
Thank
for
you.
Expresso, and
Thank you.
all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Look forward to your next film.
Thank you.